during this process, were you just kind of eating healthy just to eat healthy, or were you just kind of like, you know what, going through dialysis during college, I just want to be normal?
I don't think I ever had an idea of what a healthy diet was. I just didn't have a clue. I mean, you could say, okay, eat salads. I always love salads, but you can't drown it in ranch. So it's like those things that if you don't, how do you fix something that you don't know that you don't know?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get, people can say, you should do this or this or this. And you're like, okay, I got it. Your habits are your habits, and it can take us a lifetime to break a habit, or it could take us 15 years or 2 years to break a habit. So at that point, I still hadn't I hadn't dealt with my disease. I was still like, how do I get to this next transplant and live my life? Because I felt like I haven't lived my life yet. I'm still chained to the machine per se.
Yeah, and that makes sense. So you're just like, yo, I just want to go out here, do my thing.
For sure.
Okay, I get that. That makes sense. So 3 years, that year 3, the same situation happened. You started seeing swelling.
Well, it was actually year 2. The numbers started changing, and they switched from my, what do you call it, Neoral, which is immunosuppressant, and they changed it to my Fortic. And that was supposed to be a little less traumatic on the kidney as far as how you fluctuate the dosage. So they had me do that, and then be on the tail end of year 3, I started, having fatigued, not being able to walk upstairs because my red blood count is down, swelling. I had severe swelling in the legs. I used to be super embarrassed because I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, so like I'm not trying to deal with these kids too, and that. Yeah. So it's like you have rings around your legs because of the socks, and then your legs feel kind of achy because you have that suffocation per se.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So then they say you're gonna need another transplant.
Yeah, I went.
Did you go back to dialysis?
I did. I went back on dialysis in 2012. There was the summer of 2011 where I started having the breakdowns. The snoring, because I don't usually snore. When I was snoring and couldn't make it through the day, it was tough. Yeah, and 2008 was when I got the transplant. I made it very clear to my parents, my friend, my family, like extended family. I told them I'm not going back on dialysis. I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm not going back. And they knew very well what I meant.
Wow.
So when 2011, 2012 came around and I had to go back on dialysis, it was actually a little moment because I had a sinus infection for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then went to Columbus. Well, I got transferred to Columbus from my local hospital, and they tried to do everything they could, give me therapeutic medicine, watch me, but I just knew. And there was a moment in time in the hospital where dialysis patients or someone who has kidney failure will understand you have like this kind of like tingly feeling. Like if you've gained too much over a dialysis treatment, you start having like this bloating, off feeling, and I felt like that. And I was like, I broke down in tears because I knew what it meant. I knew that I was going to go back on dialysis, and I knew that I was going to make the decision that I told everybody in 2008 what I was going to make. And then I left the hospital, knowing that I was going to go back on dialysis. I was having kidney failure. I was in kidney failure currently. And it was a strange thing because I had a kidney doctor in my hometown, and he saw me, and he's like, "You look terrible. You have, you're fatigued. Your color isn't the same. Your eyes get kind of reddish, yellow. Everything is just off about you. You can't even, like, walking up the steps is a task. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's a set of 3 steps, it's a task." So he's like, what I want you to do is I want you to go to the cardiologist. I want you to go there right now, like now. And at the cardiologist, they were like, okay, we're going to ultrasound your heart. They look at my heart saying, you have a little bit of fluid around your heart, but there's not that much. Come back. That's a Friday. Come back on Monday. So the weekend passed. I come on Monday and they ultrasound my heart. I have so much fluid around my heart that they can't even believe that I'm walking around, that I even am driving, that I'm even, I'm even alive right now. And they're like, go to the hospital right now. Drive to the hospital right now.